The guy's property that we were logging was like 60 some acres. The tree came down right over on top of me, and then my legs went straight out in front of me, and then my head came straight over. My spinal cord took severe damage. They basically told me, get used to living in a wheelchair.
Brandon, thank you so much for coming today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
What do you remember from the day of your incident?
For a little bit, I thought I was gonna die. Waiting for the paramedics was a little excruciating.
What type of surgery you ended up having?
They took some bone graft from my lower hip area and used that to help fuse my spinal vertebrae together. And then they created a bracket with the hardware. They put a rod on each side and then screws going down the rods to help keep everything lined up.
When the doctors told you that you may be in a wheelchair for the rest of your life, what would you say was your greatest fear?
My instant thought was my relationship with my children. I just really didn't know what they were gonna think of it, for one, and just what I was gonna be able to do with them and what I wasn't. And the first day I cried, it was a little rough. I had felt like my life had just been robbed, and that was so frustrating.
Brandon, what would you say was the turning point through your whole injury?
I didn't realize that my upper body was as strong as it was. It started to give me a more positive attitude because I realized that I had more mobility than I had originally thought. There was a lot of elderly people there who aren't as fortunate as me. You know, they weren't as in good as physical condition and stuff. So I just really tried to be a light for everybody around me, and that helped out a lot too.
So what was the process of rehab like?
It was very difficult, but I made it an obsession to just try and get that feeling in my legs again. We'd finish PT or my activity, and I'd go back to my bed and I'd lay down and I'd stare at my toes, and I'd just try and squeeze them over and over and over and over again. And I'd turn that little movement into bigger movements and then bigger movements, and then it just became a strength factor.
Was it difficult to keep that positive attitude because you couldn't have anybody because of COVID?
There's times where I'd get so worked up about just being by myself. My girlfriend at the time, Cricket, she was allowed for a few hours a day because of COVID, but other than her, yeah, I wasn't allowed to see anybody else, so.
How would you say cricket impacted your rehab?
She was a blessing alone just to have throughout the entire journey.
That you decided to propose?
Yeah.
Can you explain that story to me?
I realized after she helped take care of me, and after some deep conversations, that she wasn't going anywhere and that she really did want to be there for better or for worse. So I decided I should pop the question. I had my mother at home. I called her. Well, she gave me my grandmother's ring. She put it in a sandwich bag and shoved it down in some pasta that Cricket had brought up for me to have for dinner that night. So I had the nurse keep it hidden from me until we had it all planned out. So it was fun. We just told her I was practicing getting down on the floor to play with my children at home, but really I was doing my proposal stance, you know? She asked me if I was serious, and I was like, what do you mean? Of course I'm serious. Like, there's all these people here. But yeah, she was very surprised.
What was it like first time you walked?
I was using the rails there, and I let go and took a couple sloppy, wobbly steps. From the tests they'd conducted, my muscles and nerves, they weren't strong enough yet, but somehow I still had enough will to keep pulling my legs along anyways. I was driven to walk.
So going from, practicing on kneeling to walking by yourself at your wedding, what was the process of that like?
That felt good. And dancing too, not just with her, but to be able to do the mother-son dance with my mom, that was really nice. We just got there slowly but surely, one step at a time, literally.
I think it's incredible that, that you're sharing your story.
Oh, thanks. And I think it's great that you are allowing people to use their story, especially being in the same shoes. So.
Thank you so much. What do you think somebody can learn from your experience?
know that you are stronger than what you think. Just keep moving. Don't think about it. Just keep trying to truck it out.
That means you're a very strong human being. Brandon, I want to thank you so much for being a 50 phenom.